I want to bring in now Republican Congresswoman Kat Cammack of Florida, member of the House Energy and Commerce and Agriculture Committees. This must be in concert with the vibe that you felt on Capitol Hill today. Take me inside that meeting. You were there.
Well, it's good to see you, Harris. And yes, it was a great meeting. The president was in excellent spirits. He was funny. He was candid. He was raw, authentic. I mean, it was incredible. And I wish that the American people had a moment to really see him in that moment, talking really about the importance of moving this package across the finish line. You know, I couldn't help but think about, Mick Jagger and, infamously the Rolling Stones, you can't always get what you want. Everyone in that room has something that they are making a demand of, which that is part of the messy process of legislating. But at the end of the day, we have to get a package put together that was promised to the American people for the good of the country, and that is exactly what we are doing. Now, certainly there are some loose ends that have to be tied up. There are some final things that need to be negotiated. But overall, I think people are recognizing the gravity of the moment, and we're striking to meet the moment.
Look, we have a banner up right now from President Trump's one of 4 pop-up news conferences in the last hour and a half that he had on Capitol Hill. The U.S. will pay lowest drug prices in the world. Look, that's a big part of this. And I do want to hit a couple of the sticking points with you this morning. Let New York Republican Congressman Mike Lawler make his own stance known, as he did right after that meeting. Watch.
I made very clear when I ran for office back in 22 that I would never support a tax bill that does not adequately lift the cap on salt. As it stands right now, I do not support the bill. But the president understands, obviously, how important these issues are. Obviously, it's imperative that we get a deal done and get a bill passed. And so I'm going to continue to negotiate in good faith.
A large majority of the country looks at that and says, wait, salt, isn't that something that only East Coast states, mostly Democrat-led states, would want? Can you talk about how you work that out with Lawler?
Well, again, I think there's a lot of delegations that have particular issues. And I could certainly say, hey, we're Florida. We have the 3rd largest state in the union, and we have some particular issues that we want worked out. But again, you have to operate as a federal legislator in the best interests of the country. And I'll be damned if we're going to have working class individuals subsidize blue state millionaires. We're just not going to do it. And so there's a time and place, I believe, where we're going to have that negotiation, as the president said in the meeting today. It's just not right now. And so we have other things that we have to make sure we're doing, which is getting people back on their feet from 4 years of Biden economics, which basically destroyed our economy. We need to be doing regulatory reform, which will put immediately $3,100 back in Americans' pockets. We are on track to include the REINS Act, the largest regulatory reform effort in American history, into this bill, which would not only drain the swamp, but it empower the people and put money back in their pockets. We're talking about locking in taxes. If you are not going to support this bill, you're raising taxes. We have to put the American people first. That is the America First agenda. We're this close. We can get it across the finish line. We have to stay focused.
The Freedom Caucus chair, Andy Harris, has said, Congressman Harris has said that you just need more time. And he's even saying, look, you're not close yet, but you just need more time. I'm wondering if you have that time. Yes or no?
I think we do. The artificial deadline of Memorial Day, that is something that everyone is willing to work through, because we understand that this is significant. I know for myself and people that I have talked to in the delegation across the conference, people are willing to stay and get this right. We have to get it right. So the arbitrary deadline, in my mind, it is in fact arbitrary. We can move the needle, but we want to make sure that we're getting this done in the right way. And so to rush this through, I think ultimately damages the conference, but we are close. We do need a little bit more time, and we will get there.
I wonder if there's an appetite to work through the weekend. You don't have to answer that yet.
For me, yes. For me, yes.
Oh, okay. Yes. The Justice Department has charged Democratic Congresswoman LaMonica McIver for allegedly assaulting a law enforcement agent. ICE. I mean, these lawmakers, and there were more than just this one that were being looked at. You know, the mayor of Newark, where this ICE detention center is, was arrested and charged with trespassing. This got really, 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 really chippy. What is your take on what's happening with her?
Listen, you lay hands on an officer, you are going to face the consequences. This is an F around find out moment, and she is about to find out. You cannot pull the victim card and say that you were in the wrong when you were literally shoving and throwing hands. The evidence is very clear. There is no video that disproves that she was not somehow the victim and that she was the victim in this. I mean, she absolutely was the aggressor. And just because you wear this pin, it does not give you privileges to have a double set of standards of the law. You are charged with making sure that you are upholding the law, that you are a good steward, and she has violated her oath of office. So I think she has a lot of consequences headed her way, and I fully support DHS and DOJ pursuing them to the fullest extent.
Well, it's been reported that she will need to turn herself in today to face those charges. I do want to make it clear, while he was arrested and charged, the mayor of Newark has seen his charges since get dropped against him. But this is a new day, and we have a new Democratic lawmaker in the hot seat over this incident. Congresswoman Cammack, always great to have you, particularly on the breaking news today. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Harris. Have a good one.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.